Okay, hello, hola, if you're watching from any Spanish country. You have the references on the description box. We are going to start easy and we are going to finish with a gummy bear, which is pretty exciting. Okay, and I have a pink and a teal backgrounds, bases, but we are going to paint two red objects. So you are going to see that maybe here you are going to see the reds more vibrant in the beginning, but then later here is going to be more vibrant. El diluyente. Okay, el diluyente, the solvent, is this thingy, this nasty thingy that I have here. Ahora mismo estoy usando este. This is the one I am using right now because it doesn't smell and I don't have a proper ventilation here, no tengo una buena ventilación, así que me gusta usar este porque no huele.
Editing Alai here. I am going to post in the description down below a document that explains how or why Gamsol is safer than other solvents, in case you need that information.
I am going to do the drawing with this because this is acrylic. This will dry instantly and I will be able to put oil on top of it with the brushes and it won't smudge. I don't have any grit on my painting, and as you can see, this grit isn't perfect. Maybe this could be better, but I don't care. The tomato won't care, so I am going to just do some thingies, maybe something like that. I will try. My objective here is to do everything super fast, super sketchy, just to demonstrate you that painting is easy if you don't think too much. I'm going to I won't think about what I am painting. I will just copy shapes. For example, I have here something darker. You can see in the reference, this is a bit darker, but I have here a highlight and I have here another highlight, and I have here a yellow part. Then if you see here, I have this part is like blue, this is like super dark, and then this is like blue. If you see this part here, this is blue, this is super blue, like cobalt blue. We need to enhance that. We are going to take that gray and we are going to paint blue, and just because I want to make this super blue, I will paint the rest yellow. This is my plan for this tomato. I am going to start. Can you see here that I am covering entirely the grid? This is because cadmium red is pretty opaque. Using what I did in the sketch to save me some time. Here I have some reds. And now I am not going to clean the brush because I am using the same-ish color. It's from red to red, so I am going to just have it, mix it a bit, and use it. Okay. In the bottom part, we have lighter orange, so we can mix maybe. Good morning, true. For me, it's almost like dinner time. I am trying to read and paint at the same time, but this is too difficult. Okay, is this light enough? Yes, it is. And now, this bottom part that we are going to have here with this blue that we planned before. And here we need some orange too. And now with a bit of medium. And now I have a brighter orange. That's perfect. I am covering what I noted, but I will remember, I think, that we have a highlighter. And sketchy, fast, without thinking too much. The tomato won't complain if you are painting it good or bad. Instead of red, I am using quinacridone rose sometimes because you can have pretty oranges without that red, but the rose is transparent, so you need to be careful. Enough with the yellows. I am going to have this bottom color again to cover this, And now I am going to make this blue. Usually I make my blues with ultramarine and cobalt blue, cobalt teal, but now I am in love with these grayish tones. Imagine you are playing with these reds. If you use ultramarine, you are going to go super dark, okay? Because the ultramarine has a low value. And you are going to make super darkish purples, browns, something like that. But if you use grays, we are on the same red more or less. If you use these grays, just because this has a bluish tint, you know that this gray is gold. Look at this. You can get beautiful, in my opinion, violets without getting dark tones. More or less. Now I will switch to a smaller brush, maybe this one that I have here. And now, yes, now I am going to do a little mix with the cobalt teal. You know me, I love making these. And I am going to add the final spark here. Maybe that's too much, but I love it. I love how the red contrasts with the blue. And one tip, if you want to apply oil on a surface that is wet, for example, this is all wet, you have to put your brush parallel to the surface. You have to lay down your brush super parallel, not like this. This is perpendicular to the surface, and when you paint like this, you are going to blend your paint, you are going to move your paint. But if you put like this your paint, you will see that you are going to be able to not blend. Have you seen that? This is like purplish. And let me parallel to the surface, and you will see that doesn't blend. For the stem, I like to put color blocks, and then when I finish this part, I will detail with a thinner brush. But for now, you can see that I am painting parallel to the surface. Maybe a bit of cobalt teal. This is too much, but it can work. More or less. I don't need it super exact. Thank you. And this super dark red, or maybe this, for the shadows of this. Super sketchy. Here, whoa. I like to use this small stick to use it as a support. You can use any stick. I remember when I was in uni, I used a broomstick because I didn't have any stick. Now with a thinner. Okay, and now I am going to clean the brush because I need a super light color for the stem. Maybe I can reuse this and just a pop like that, and that's great. I think that's cool. You can make more details if you want, but that works as a tomato. And about backgrounds, I know I repeat myself a lot, but in the part that is closer to you as a spectator, you have to make the colors more saturated. So I am going to use more ochre, maybe a pinch of rose to make this part. Super sketchy, super fast. I usually cover my sketch, but not all the background. And also, warm tones pushes things towards you, while cool tones move things farther away from you. So you can play with that, like this. Okay. Can you see that this part is cooler than this part? Here we have some red reflections from the tomato to the table, but here we have blues. So I worry this. And now mixing these two, I am going to have, instead of mixing in the painting, I am going to mix in the palette. Because if I mix in the painting, going over and over again, blending the brush strokes, I am going to make my paint moody. So instead of that, I am going to make here my mixes and then just apply them a bit sketchy, and they are going to blend by themselves. More or less. And now I have a course that I keep painting over and over and over until, I don't know, until the next day, the same painting. It's so difficult to finish a painting, but now I am going to try to finish it. We have two highlights here. We have this highlight, we have this highlight, the left and the right. But the right highlight is much brighter than this one. So I am not going to blend this. I could, but I don't want that. I like the way it looks, so shiny and parallel to the surface. And I am going to add a pop of yellow. And now you can see that this is more vibrant, more light than this one. Okay, this is our first mini painting, our first tomato. Now we are going to use the same that we have seen on this tomato in the gummy thingy. In this thingy, we are going to apply the theory of the tomato to make this gummy. Okay, because they are just if you look at the back part, if you have painted some of these, just paint. Wow!
Short announcement here, if you like long deep color theory tutorials, I have not one but two Domestika courses. The first one talking about color theory, materials and how to start painting, and the second one about understanding the reality, volumes and color. To paint whatever you want, for example portraits, without knowing too much of anatomy. Little price, one-time payment and forever access, me as a teacher and forum available. Link in the description.